Hi guys, welcome back to Cooking with John. Today I'm going to do a Spanish tortilla, which is a great tapas dish. Very good in a baguette sandwich or as part of a tortilla, a tapas platter. It's fairly simple to make. It's a traditional tortilla just made with potato and onion. And I really enjoy it, and I hope you do too. So let's get cracking. Okay guys, so ingredients that we're going to need for the tortilla is simply potato. Okay, now I've got 900 grams of potato here that I've diced into just centimetre dice. Okay, it doesn't really want to be any bigger than that because otherwise it will be could be very soft on the outside but not really cooked through on the inside. So centimetre dice is absolutely ideal. If it's a little smaller than that, not a problem. That'll be absolutely fine. We've also got 225 grams of onion, okay, diced down as well, so around about centimetre pieces roughly on there. And then of course we just need eggs. That's the main thing that will bind all of this together because essentially it's an omelette. That's what a Spanish tortilla is. So for this I have got 8 eggs in here, 8 large eggs, and this will actually make 2 tortillas. Okay, I'm going to make the tortillas in this pan. Okay, now this is a 20 centimetre non-stick frying pan, okay, or 8 inches on there. So the ingredients I've given you here is to make 2 of these, okay. And that is basically, they're your basic ingredients aside from seasoning, which is literally just salt and pepper. Okay, so we'll just move on to the first stage of starting cooking. So let's go. Okay guys, so to start this off, okay, I've got a frying pan here with a good 2 to 3 inches of vegetable oil or sunflower oil, any oil that you would like, as long as it's odorless and it's got a high flash point. You can use just olive oil for this because we're not really going to be cooking this at a very high temperature at this point. But vegetable oil is a little bit better just because you don't want it to start burning. Okay, so I've got this onto the heat and it's just about coming up to temperature. I've got my potatoes here. Now they're in the colander because I had them washed through. Okay, so I was just draining them off. You don't want these to be wet, obviously, when they're going into hot fat. Alright. Now, to measure this out, obviously, as I said, I've got 900 grams of potato in here, and this is going to do 2 tortillas. Okay. So for one pan, basically, all you want to do is just to fill your pan with the potato, just to measure this out. Okay. So basically, you want to pretty much to the brim. Okay. Of your potato to there. Alright, I would say that's about enough for that one. Okay, and we start off with cooking the potato first. Alright, now just to check if the oil's hot enough, okay, I'm just going to put 1 piece of potato in here, and it's starting to sizzle straight away. It's starting to sizzle quite hard, so I'm going to turn it down because I don't want it cooking that hard, but this will cool it down as soon as I put everything in. So just in with the potatoes, in we go. And then just give them, turn that right down, and just give them a good moving around. I'm just going to take this off the heat for a second, just to let it cool down a little touch. It's a little too high, because we don't want these to brown. Okay, we just want them to gently cook, so it cooks them through. Okay, so that's cooling down a little bit now. Alright, so I'm just going to pop that back in the heat, and it's on the very lowest heat that I've got for this one. Alright, and then we just gently simmer them away in the oil for a few minutes until they start to cook through. Okay, once they're just about cooked, we'll then add the onion in. Okay, we don't want to put the onion in at this stage because the onion is going to cook a lot faster than the potato. Okay, so the potato's been cooking for a little bit now and it's starting to soften down. Okay, the heat's actually still just fine. Okay, it'll look as if it's starting to get too low, but actually it's not. It's just because the potatoes are starting to cook, so the pan starts to calm down a bit. So at this point, what you want to do is you want to add half of your onion into the pan. So I'm just going to pop these in like that. Obviously you'll see I haven't really measured this out in what I'm putting in the pan, but just by eye you can roughly see because it's only half we're doing. Okay, and then give that a stir around. Now that's cooled down quite a bit, so I'm just actually going to turn the heat up. Okay. Just adding that extra ingredients in there. It's cooled the oil down just a little touch too much, so I'm just turning that up. And again, you still want to just gently fry this because again, you don't want the onions to burn. Okay, so that's frying just nice and gently now. Okay, that's the perfect kind of temperature that we want. Okay, just keep this going for another couple of minutes. You'll know yourself, but you can always test your potato as to how well it's cooked if you like. So just fish out a piece or two of the potato and then just pop your knife into it. That knife's going in there very easily, so you can feel it's cooked. Okay, but I just want to give the onion just a little bit more time. Okay, pop them back in. I want to give the onions just a little bit more time just to make sure that they're cooked through, because you don't really want that raw onion taste. You want a nice kind of sweet oniony flavour to come through this. Okay, now this for me this is cooked enough on there. You can actually smell the onions start to come through. Okay, so I'm just going to switch this off for now. Okay, and then what we need to do is drain this. Now the best way to drain this is just to take another pan, okay, and a sieve. Okay, not so much a colander because you'll get pieces of the onion, what have you, falling through that. So a sieve is better. Okay, and then you really just want to take this to your pan and just pop it right through the sieve so that it all goes through. Okay, and then just take them out. Alright. There we go. Okay, so you just want to let those drain. Okay, just make sure they're not sitting in any oil. Okay, but what you can do at this stage, you can just take that oil and you can put it back into your big pan, because I'm going to use this again for the next one. Okay, because we need to do this twice. You can do this all in one go if you want. For the quantities I've given you, as I said, it's for 2 tortillas in this pan, but you can put everything in one go if you want. It'll just take a little bit longer. You're going to need a little bit more space to be able to drain these out. So if you want to do them individually, this is the way I'm showing you at the moment. But you can do it all in one go if you wish. So you want these to drain. Okay, and the next stage is we're just going to pop them into our beaten eggs. Okay, but you do want this to cool down before you put them into the beaten eggs, because of course this is very hot, coming out of hot oil, and all it's going to do, it's going to start to scramble the eggs as soon as it goes in, which we don't want at this stage. Okay, so you just want them to cool down a bit, maybe just let them sit for 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, in the meantime I'm just going to go and sort out the eggs and get them scrambled up, ready to go. Right guys, so as the potatoes cooling, okay, we just want to sort out our eggs. Okay, as I said, for this size of tortilla, I've got 4 medium to large eggs. Okay, in the bowl. To that, all we want to add is just about a teaspoon of salt. Okay, just for a bit of seasoning, and black pepper. Okay, so just a few twists of pepper. You don't want loads. Just to your own taste really on this, and then just simply batter them together. Now don't be tempted to add any water or milk to this to try and bulk it up. This amount of eggs will be enough for that size of pan and tortilla that we're going to do, but if you were to add milk especially, when it starts to cook, you may have found this with scrambled egg, it starts to split, the curd and the whey starts to come away from each other, so you end up with a lot of water almost coming out of your egg, which just isn't good. You don't want this to be sloppy, so never add anything. It's just whole egg into here. So So we just bash these up, okay, give them a good mix. There we go, so a good beating on that. Stir these well mixed. There we go. Just take all the last of that egg out my whisk, there we go. Right, okay, so that's ready for the potato to go in as soon as it's cooled. Okay, and then we can start to cook, which is stage 3. Let's go. Okay guys, so the potato's cooled down enough. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop it straight into the egg. Okay, and then you just want to stir that round. Okay, in the egg and get it all well combined. Okay, at the same time, okay, I've got my pan here. I'm just going to pop it onto a very low heat, very low. You want to cook this very gently. Okay, so I've got the mixture all gone through nicely. Okay, so everything's well coated. And then into the pan we just want maybe about a teaspoon or so of oil, not a lot at all. Okay, but what you do want to do is just make sure that you get that all well around the pan. Okay, get it nicely coated. Right. Okay, so we're ready to go into the pan with our tortilla mixture. Okay, and you're not going to hear the sizzle. Okay, and that's exactly what you want. You don't want it sizzling at all. If you cook this too fast on too high heat, it will go rubbery, and you really don't want that. You want this very nice and gentle cooking, and it'll come out nice and fluffy. So in with all of that. Don't waste any of your egg or your onions and stuff. So there we go. Then just smooth it out. Okay, just to make it nice and even on the top. Let's put some right in here. There we go, just smooth that out on top. Right, so just gently cook that for a few minutes, and you will see it start to cook around the edges. If you've got a silicone spatula, this is a really good tool for this. Okay, they're very good. If you don't, obviously you can use like a fish slice or a spatula on here, as long as it's, if you use non-stick, obviously use plastic or silicone. Don't use metal on there. Otherwise that non-stick pan will never stick, it will never be non-stick again. Okay, so you can see this is just starting to cook very gently around the edges. Okay, so we'll just let that sit, and as it starts to cook, you'll see the egg firming up, and then we just start working the edges a little bit. Okay, as you can see, this is starting to firm up around the edges. So just work your spatula around, just very gently, just to ease it from the sides. Just helps it not to stick too much, but it also just lets any additional egg just seep down the edges to continue cooking. Okay, now we're not going to cook this all the way through, because what we are going to do is flip it over. Okay, and as I said, this is on a very low heat. You do not want this on a high heat at all, otherwise it'll just start to cook too fast, it'll burn and it'll go rubbery. Okay, now so shake the pan. There's a little wobble in there. Okay, now obviously we're unsticking around the edges for the base of the pan, just in case it is starting to stick. A good trick is just take the handle and just bash it like that, just quite sharply, and as you'll see, that moved, so I'm quite confident that that's unstuck from the base, if it ever was. Okay, a little bit like that. So yeah, that's moving in my pan, which I'm quite happy with. Okay, so just give this another minute or two more. Now I think that's firm enough on the bottom. for us to be able to flip this over. Okay. Right, okay, now the best way to flip this, as I said, is with a plate, okay? So you're going to take my plate, I've just got a full-size dinner plate on here, so it's oversized for the pan, alright? Again, you've got to be brave. So with this, towel is handy, okay? Pop it on to the plate, and then give a bit of pressure onto it, and then flip. Okay, there's the pan back on, and that's the perfect colour. And just slide that egg in there, put that whole lot back in, straight away like that, and then just use your spatula and just tuck those edges in into it, just to get that all back down again. There's the edges in, so just reshape it, and that's going to allow the other side to cook. Okay, again, this is still on the very low heat. Okay, then you can push down with your spatula just to try and even it out. Okay, because this is going to be very soft in the middle at the moment. There we are. Yeah, and again, just let that sit and cook for another few minutes. Now, a little tip here is that you don't want to cook this too much. You do want the inside of it to be just still slightly wet or slightly runny with the egg mixture. Now, I know that might not sound great, but it will continue cooking once you actually take it out of the pan, because obviously you need to let this cool. So as it's cooling, it's still going to continue to cook, and that will firm up. Okay. If you find that when you do eventually cut into it, it's still slightly too wet in the middle for you. Personally, I like it like that, but if you do find it's too wet, just pop it in the microwave for a few seconds, and that will finish cooking off the egg a little bit more for you. Okay, now this has had another couple of minutes, okay, so I'm now going to flip it out to the other side. So I've got a smaller pan, a smaller plate to basically be the same size as the pan. Okay, it's just a standard side plate. So again, just the same procedure as before. Towel to protect your hands, a bit of pressure on the top, and flip. And there we go. And that, for me, is perfect. Okay. There you have it, and that's our Spanish tortilla, okay, our potato omelette. Now, it's sitting to cool, as you'll see, you get a bit of a dip, it's boiling in the middle, okay. And that's just because the outside is more cooked than the inside, okay. But to even it out, nice little trick to do here is just to cover it with another plate of the same size, and then just gently press. Not too hard, but you don't want it, you want enough pressure on there, so that it will move it. And what that's going to do is that's going to just distribute that softer egg right the way through, which is even it. So give it a few gentle presses. If you press too hard, you're going to split the whole thing, so just be gentle with it. As you can see, there's less of a bowl in there, okay? It will sink a little bit more, but you can always do it again a little bit later, alright? So let's just leave that to cool. Well, there you go, guys. That's my Spanish tortilla. I hope you enjoy it. As you can see, it's great in a baguette with some garlic mayonnaise. It really makes it sing. It's lovely. The other option you've got, it's also good on a plate as a plate breakfast with some baked beans, bacon, sausage, bit of toast. It's a great alternative to poached eggs or fried egg. So it works really, really well. So give it a try. If you give it a try, send me a picture in the comments, that'd be great. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe so that you can see all future videos that I do. I really hope you enjoyed this recipe, and I'll see you again for the next one.